Today we are with BIM expert Paarija. Please, Paarija, introduce yourself.
Okay, hi everyone. My name is Paarija Saxena. I am a design technologist. I have been working in the architecture and the design industry for past 7 years now. Both in India, Australia. I've done few projects in London too. Um, Everywhere I've realized how important the role of a design technologist is growing, and that's what I opted for. So that's me. But now, recently, I've joined Novatr as a course developer into the BIM in workflow and how we can learn and grow in this sector with obviously everybody who's listening to this and around the globe. Yeah,
Great.
that's about
So,
me.
Paarija, BIM is becoming a buzzword in architecture,
Yeah.
right? So, what exactly BIM is? In
Right.
simpler words.
Of course, I mean, BIM is everything. It's a process, it's a system. Uh, BIM does not opt for one particular software. It just incorporate all different softwares together that helps in our industry in general. So now we were given this, we started our lives and the career with a drafting board and pen and pencils. That is just, I would say, 0.5% of what we do in the real world. We need a platform where all the stakeholders, because any building, be it small or humongous at real estate level or at like a 1 BHK or a 4 people house level, everything just does not come from architect. They come from many stakeholders. Before, it was all the stakeholders are working on their different softwares. Now world is becoming more and more, um, um, small. It is becoming where everybody wants to be in one platform where everybody can see how things are progressing throughout the process from the beginning to the end. So BIM gives us that platform. So it's a system where everybody enters together and start working in a very collaborative space. It starts from designing to execution to actually handing over everything, becoming more efficient workflow wise, becoming more efficient, sustainable design perspective, say, and it is becoming more and more uh, collaborative oriented rather than just design oriented. So that's BIM.
And why it is so important for architects? You explained all the points, you
Yeah.
explained from small scale project to the large scale. But why is it so important for the architects? We are always told to work with pen, pencil, use your concepts.
Yeah.
But why it is becoming so important for architects?
I mean, I'll go ahead with this with a counter question. You are an architect yourself.
Yeah.
You tell me, when you do a project, how much of the percentage, if we think of a project from 1 to 100 on a scale, how much time we are actually spending, or how much percentage we are actually spending on designing?
Yeah, it's less.
I mean, I started the career with a wall design. My first project was a wall design. It was a 70-meter long wall that I designed for a community hall. To my last project, that was a infrastructure project, uh, designing for bridges. I would say design is just 2 to 5%, and rest,
Yeah.
it's all the admin work. It's getting actually the things made on time with costs, with materials, when it's going, how it's going, who's going to take it, how the designs are going to be on the site. Is the site manager able to understand what architects are doing, and is if the architects are able to understand what's happening on the site, what's happening with the vendors, that's all together makes up for the project. So I think going forward, BIM is becoming, just very important. Why I'm saying this is, so as for working internationally, I've also realized, so US Everything is on BIM. If you want to grow there, it's BIM. You
Yeah.
cannot do with just AutoCAD. You have to get your foot inside the BIM environment. In Australia, UK, government has made it mandatory for architects to work in this platform. Say for India, it's growing, but it is the future. If I won't even say it's the future, it's right now. If you don't step into it, it's just gonna you're gonna lose on it. Um, lose You're gonna lose on some of the greatest projects. So I think I would also say, as architects, when we start our career, we all want to bring our portfolio to a level where we can show, oh, I have built on museums, I have built on this amazing big projects, or the bridges for that matter. But you cannot just do that with AutoCAD. It's the harsh reality, but you have to just catch up to it. Yeah.
And what do you think? Where does the industry stand in terms of BIM in India? BIM adoption in India.
So right now, I would say the bigger companies are already onto it. Say Acom, Gensler, WSP, be it civil engineers, MEP, or architects, most importantly, architects. Everybody is on BIM already, because they are not just working on one single project. They are working on so many projects, and it makes life easier when you have uh, BIM as a platform, because it starts from, say, designing to material takeoff to cost estimation and project closure and after project closure. So they are already on it, they have understood. With, I would say, small to mid scale industries, there are definitely challenges right now. Challenges in terms of cost, challenges in terms of training, challenges in terms of actually adapting to new tech. Um, but it's slowly and steadily happening, because sooner or later they are also realizing that if they want to do multiple projects, they have to have a system that is more efficient. So, if as an architect I know, um, you know uh, BIM, it becomes my horizon actually increases a bit, it becomes more wider. So if I'm a say I'm an architect looking for jobs in bigger industries, say I have the skill set, you can hire me. But also, if I am a person who wants to start their own thing, because I have a prior knowledge to BIM, what I can do is I can just get onto it, set up my system, and have multiple projects. So it's that's where India is struggling, because of the awareness part of it, and the smaller and mid scale industries right now not understanding or having that, or maybe they do understand, it's just the costing part of and the initial step to take. That's where our upcoming generation can help. You know.
Actually, because what I feel that architecture education is falling behind in BIM, and BIM is the emerging career. So
Yes.
it is right now, and it is going to stay for a long time.
Yeah.
It's very important for architecture education, their curriculum, that they adopt to BIM as soon as possible,
Yes.
so that students can get started as soon as they do complete their 5 year degree course.
Definitely. I mean, um, I remember when I started, I was a nerd into the tech. I am not even kidding. So for me to get into it was fine. But then I realized so many of my own friends who were typical architects, designers, I would say, who wanted to sketch and build for these amazing buildings, they also had to push themselves into BIM, not just because of uh, payments, or not just because of doing bigger projects, but also they understood that there is a system that can actually help and reduce their work load, and they can be more productive
And
in
also,
that way.
architecture is ever evolving field. You have to keep
Yeah.
learning
Absolutely.
every time. So it is
Absolutely.
very important that you keep up with the whatever news happening in the market. And BIM is actually an emerging career in architecture in
Yeah,
2025. I must say it is, and
absolutely.
it is going to stay there for a long time. Can you
Definitely.
explain some of the career benefits that students can get after they do the BIM course?
Of course, I mean, so many things. First of all, I would say this opens up so many horizons for you. As I said, it widens the horizon for you. Uh, I would say so. BIM is what? It's a building information modeling. For everybody
Yeah.
listening to this, it's a very simple term. BIM in building information modeling. Now, when you model anything, before what we were doing, we were just experimenting with things. uh, Anything, any extrusion that we do on a digital platform can be a furniture, can be a wall, can be a floor, anything. But now, when we are modeling in this BIM environment, it starts from, is it a brick wall or is it a ACC wall? If it's a brick wall, how many bricks are there? How many, you know, what kind of bricklaying we are doing? What are the layers that's going to come on top of it? Where we are building it? It's a structural wall or it's a partition wall? Then going forward, if it's a brick wall, who's going to be my vendor to it when I'm building, where I'm building, sustainability factor, lead ratings, everything is just inside one single model that we are doing. So BIM, building information, just does not come with, oh, we are modeling and it's a fancy word. It actually has all the information to it. So when you have information of everything, now imagine what different roles you can take. You can be a architect, a BIM modeler, you can be a visualizer who understands, you can be a BIM coordinator who is coordinating between architects and vendors. You can be a site manager understanding, BIM site manager who's understanding what's happening in the digital platform and what's going to happen on the site. Then it opens up more horizon if you get into it to the computational side of it. Now you can build and model the wall in a different shapes and forms and organic modeling tools you can incorporate with it, because now you understand what's going inside the wall, so I can play around with the structure of it. You can be like, it leads up to BIM manager who sets up the system for the whole office. And when I say sets up the system, they understand the codes, because we know any building, they just need so many codes. So
Yeah.
you create a system once and it is incorporated in different projects. The codes, the the different vendors, the manufacturers, the different types of wall, the different types of detailing. And wall is such a basic thing that I'm saying, if I have to go into it, there are like hundreds of things that's happening, in the building. So your role can be anywhere from a modeler to a BIM manager. In between, you can be a design technologist who works. So my role, if I have to tell you how it happened, was I started with BIM modeler, and how it grew was, I started working with this projects where every stakeholder was sharing their files in different formats. And as a design technologist, now my role was to incorporate all these formats into one digital platform. How do you code it in a way that everything that comes into it has one language to follow? So you just keep on growing. And because your horizon is too wide, you can actually choose which one you want to have. Right now the market is booming, so whosoever gets into it, they get to choose. That's what I have to say. Yeah.
And what advice would you give to architects who want to learn BIM?
I mean, of course, if you have to learn something, there is two ways of learning anything. One, suppose you are learning swimming. One, somebody pushes you into the lake and you learn not to drown. Or you do a training and learn and understand the waters. You understand everything. So, like at Novatr, what we are doing the structured way of it. So, you start from the beginning and you end with a project that's a real life project. You get to work on it. So, anybody who's starting, I would recommend, first of all, at your own level, college level, peers level, start reading what BIM actually is, where it is used, why it is used. Go learn through blogs, through LinkedIn posts, through anywhere and everywhere. But there's a huge thing that comes in it. I always believe in um, one should be learning from people who are walking into it and not from the kind of people who are talking about it. So, like at Novator, when we say you are learning, you are just not just learning the softwares. You are learning from the industry people who are already at their career peaks from around the world. So they are not just giving you insight of what's happening in India. They are giving you insights of what's happening in BIM. So that's their focus. How you can adapt to it quickly and efficiently. They are teaching you how they have used certain challenges, certain things in their projects and the challenges that they were facing. So that's how a person should start learning from. Get into the community as soon as possible. Sometimes you learn from others more. So the sooner you get into the community, the better and the faster you will learn. Yeah.
That's great advice. And what are the challenges? I feel bigger firms are ready to adopt BIM.
Yeah.
But what are the challenges that smaller firms are going to face when they are adapting to the BIM?
Uh, as I said before, with smaller firms, I think the biggest challenge is the cost, because I'm sorry, when you have to adapt to a new tool, obviously there is software cost. Then there is training cost. Then there is the cost to update the hardwares, because obviously when we are saying BIM is a big platform, it's a collaborative platform, everybody's going to come and work together. You can see what's happening at what stage, everybody's working in real time. So if there is one model, you don't have to wait for civil engineer to update their drawings and send it to you. Everything is happening in the real time on the digital platform. Obviously the hardware requirement is gonna be there. um, the
Thank you. That is the kind of investment. If
Yeah.
architects see it in that way, if they want to upgrade, if they want to stay in the industry, then they should see this as an investment.
Definitely. I mean, I feel sometimes there is a lack of awareness of the uh, what are the things that the new tech can do. Now you must be hearing from everybody, AI is gonna take the job. AI is not gonna take the job.
Yeah.
People who know AI is gonna, because um, AI is making our lives easier. Now there will be more jobs around it. Learn quickly. Same, BIM is, people think as a designer, if you get into too much of the digital platform, it's gonna take away the creativity from you. But I feel it's gonna increase the creativity. When I say, if you set up, say, okay, I'll give you a quick example. Say you have a building of 0 to 50 floors, right? Or a house, say it has 10 rooms or whatever. Now you have five different kinds of lighting: L1, L2, L3, L4, L5. Now you have to change L3 to L5. What you're gonna do? You're gonna go manually. If you have to do it, you're gonna go to each room. So if it's a 50 floor building, you can imagine. You're gonna go to each floor, look what lights are there. Step one. If there is L5, L3, sorry, then I will change it to L5. So, but then if I want to add one more complexity to it, say it's a office building, and I'm saying only the meeting room L3 will gonna change to L5. Now again, I will go back, look at each floor if there is a meeting room. And if meeting room even has L3, then I'm gonna change to L5. Now just imagine a person, single person doing it. It looks like a very simple thing, but as you
But
also
it's
have
a tedious
worked,
job.
it's a tedious, it's almost a week's task, a very tedious, boring task that you have to do. With softwares like this, you create a script that says, okay, you select a lighting that says L1, L2, L3 or whatever, and change it to the, replace it with another L2, L3, L4, L5, whatever. Now that script is created once and it can be used for multiple projects. So now, as an architect, I got more time to design. So these platforms are actually giving you time, more time to design, and not taking away that designer in you. It's giving you more time to think about new things. So if you actually think, start thinking in terms of no, nothing is gonna take the job, it's only gonna increase the productivity and give you more time to work on things that you actually love.
Yeah. So earlier you talked about that it BIM improves collaborations between architects and engineers and contractors.
Yeah.
How does BIM do that?
See, okay, say let's for instance, there is a software for modeling and documentation for each stakeholder. As an architect, I would use Revit. As civil engineer, I can use Revit or any other CAD platforms to model and see things. What happens in BIM softwares like Revit, and then there are cloud platforms where everybody can put their part of the model in a central model. So just imagine a single box, a central model, and everybody, say architects are doing their model, architectural walls and everything. Then there are civil engineers who are working on columns and beams and everything else. Then there are interior designers who are working on the interior part of it. They are handling the paints, the wall detailing, everything else. Now everybody can just sync together. They can send their model to the central model, and then everybody has their models running ready together in one platform. So every time, so suppose I do something, I'm an architect and I change the wall. Now what it will do is, whenever I sync it to the central model, I send my model to the central model, it will send a warning or a notice to everybody that this thing has been changed. So they can change their drawings and their model there and then. Or if something is happening, they can raise the issue there and then. Also, if I'm working, suppose, and I just want to try, so I can make multiple design options of the wall placement, but I do not sync everything. I sync only the part that is final from me and from my colleagues and everybody else. So that makes up for a like you everybody is sitting together and working at the same time. That helps in collaboration. Then I think everything comes down to costing. Now, when I say BIM and building information modeling, the information in each element also has the costing part of it. So, if I said bricks, how many bricks? What is the manufacturer? What is the vendor? What is the cost of one brick? So, what is the cost of, say, 1,000 bricks? And now, midway, my client says, no, I can't deal with this. So the first floor you have done with vendor A, but for the second floor, I want to go with vendor B. Now, what do? I just have to change one line of it, and it will update to all my quantity takeoffs, all my bill of quantities. It will be updated automatically in one. Literally, it takes 5 minutes. So
And
now,
that is the future, that is the future of learning BIM,
yeah,
to reduce time. That is what we want. As we talked earlier about everybody's worried that AI is going to take our jobs. No, when you know the system, when you know AI is never going to take your job. You should know how to work with AI and how you
Yes.
are going to reduce your time. And this is why I think it is very important to learn BIM. As you said, you have explained so many points. And this is the future of BIM.
Yeah, I
And
mean, when we think of BIM, we always think of it as a software. It's not one software. It's a collection of many. So Revit for obviously the modeling part of it, which is the most famous. Then you have clash detection through Navisworks, which is a big thing now right now where what we also teach in at Novator, we do not teach just the Revit part of it, but the clash detection. So when you start a project, say from the beginning of it to the end of it, you need Revit, then you need Dynamo, then you need ACC and collaborative, features of it. Then you need other sustainable plugins like environment, or for interiors you need AGA CAD. Then you move to clash detection part when everything is together. Now how do you collaborate? If do you want to check if there are any clashes actually happening, then you go to Navisworks. And then in the end everything is done and fixated. You also need to make that pretty pictures. So the twin motion or Enscape, how these rendering tools like Lumion, Enscape, twin motion, they are actually incorporated with Revit now, and also Rhino, how they are used in the real time. So if you change the model in Revit or Rhino or SketchUp, when you put it, just sync it in your Enscape or Lumion or Twinmotion, it just changes the view automatically. You don't have to open like multiple softwares together. Now everything is collaborated, connected together. So this interoperability kind of direction is already there. You just have to get your hands on it. Yeah.
yeah.
And that's what actually that's what we are trying to do here at Novator as well. When a student is coming to us, we are not teaching them how architecture happens. We believe the colleges are already doing that, and also the person herself or himself, they already know what they want to be as an architect. But how the industry works, how to get started with a project, and how to get done with it. I think Novator has created that platform for them to come sit with the industry specialist to work. So we have lead mentors who come and teach all through this, but then we have industry guides who help them throughout the course to help them understand, okay, on day to day basis also as a professional, what challenges you're gonna face, how BIM is helping them on their day to day challenges. Now, I'm not saying it's a quick process. It's not a quick process. You cannot learn all these things in, say, a month or a 15 days time. You need somewhere where you grow at a you know good pace, where you learn and understand at a good pace. And that's what I think the architects, the new gen architects, should understand, that everything happens at a pace, but the sooner you start, the sooner you will get into this business.
So, Paarija, you explained beautifully about BIM, future of learning. Where can our listeners learn more about BIM? Also, please
Okay.
tell something about Novatr platform and
Yes,
how can the students enroll in that, or the architects who are very keen to learn about BIM. How
of
can
course. Um, First of all, visit our site novator.com. It is where everything you can find on BIM courses, computational courses. You can learn everything about us, about how the company started. So I would just say it's a company that started with this one mindset, that there is a gap between what we learn in architecture and what the industry needs right now. So obviously you need the design sense, but then you need hands-on experience on these projects, and how these designs that we think of are actually built. how they are done, how to collaborate, how to manage teams, how to do the project management, how to become a person who's into these digital platform end to end and understand how things are done from concept to project handover. And that's what Novator is doing. What we do is we bring on the best of the best people in the industry, be it architects, BIM professional, BIM specialists, from industries in India, outside India, from the globe. Like we have Heatherwick's BIM lead with us. We have Alejandro, we have Andre, everybody who's great at what they are doing in the BIM space. They come and teach students their own journey, their challenges, and how they learn from it. Now, obviously, we start at the beginners level where we teach what BIM is, how to get started with BIM, to a very advanced level of even BIM manager or BIM coordinator, what kind of skill set you need. Also, at Novator, we just don't do, this software based. It's a thought leadership also. So we create awareness, we do master classes where student can just learn what's happening in the industry, like a virtual walkthrough. Then virtual walkthrough into the workspaces and offices and their experiences of these mentors and these professionals who are already working in the industry. Then we also have career sessions with us where industry professionals will teach you how to build your portfolio, how to present yourself, and how to have that kind of attitude when you go into the company, how to deliver it, and how to be what it needs to be at that level. Um, what Novator also does is it creates a platform for you to practice more, because when you're out in the industry, when you're doing any job interview, people ask you what's your experience, right? So what we do is we have our projects that these big industry leaders like WSP, ACOM, Atkins, they have provided us with projects and challenges. And as a student, by the end of your course, you can actually come and practice on it. So when you're presenting your portfolio, you're not just presenting, oh, you learned a software. You're also presenting that you have worked on a project. And project, in a way, they also tell you how to put it in a way that any interviewer will ask you, what are the challenges that you faced in a project? And that confidence that you have, okay, that was the biggest challenge for me and how I did it. Or even if there are schedules or BOQ or these big words that we don't really have in our curriculum back in the university, now you have it. Now you understand how to go about it. So come visit novator.com. See, look, go through the journey, go through the experience, go through the courses, and just enroll as soon as possible. Yeah, you can, yeah, just directly apply from there. Obviously, somebody will come and assist you through the whole process from your enrollment to the end of it. We believe in the buddy system. We believe that somebody should be there holding your hand sometimes to just take you from one part to another. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Paarija. It was so lovely having conversation with you. And BIM is actually very important. You have covered all the points from what is BIM, what are the career paths, what is its importance, and what is the future of BIM. So yes, it was a great conversation. And guys, I'll encourage all the listeners to please enroll in the BIM. I am providing the link in the description. So do enroll, and please suggest to your friends also to keep yourself upgraded in the industry. That is very important.
Thank you. Thank you
Thank
so
you,
much.
Paarija.